Hi everyone, which again, and still, is just one person. Thank you, Jennifer Lisa Vest, for for subscribing to my channel and pushing me to do something about posting. I am totally not sure of what I'm doing, but I want to be out there and be real so that I'm not just some like ghost, like lurking on other people's channels. So here I am. My name is Annette. What's going on here? Annette Freeman, and I come to you from Colorado, raw and unfiltered, because that's how I roll. That's how it's always going to be. My content will be clean, maybe not straightforward in the sense of my mind is very circular. So there we have it. In this post, I would like to share with you some of the things that I have been reading lately, and some of my favorite books and card decks, just for fun, because what the heck, that's a way to get to know me, right? So here, let me show you. I always wonder how I can turn the camera around, but okay, I just finished reading China Rich Girlfriend. Look, I am not like au courant with everything, so I just got this from the library and decided to read it because I loved Crazy Rich Asians movie. Aquafina, she is so cool. Every time I read Peg Lynn's parts, it was her voice in my head. Anyway, I loved that movie, so I wanted to read the sequel. And now I have to go back and read the book since I only watched the movie of Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah, I gotta think sometimes. Another book I just finished reading. Oh my gosh. It is amazing. The Woodwife. I love this book so much. It's got a lot of really awesome artsy fartsy stuff in it and a beautiful story. It was recommended to me by Semele Sherry, who is an amazing person and an amazing support to me through readings and stuff like that. So anyway, she has a channel. I'll put a link in if I can figure it out. How to do that, I will figure it out. But she recommended it to me, and it's written by Terry Windling, and it says that it's an extraordinary tale of wild desert magic, which is really true. I love the etheric, the things that you could say are pretend, which I like to think are real. Sometimes some of them I like to think are real. Anyway, yeah, so she's got like spirits in the desert and things like that. It's really, really cool that appear. Another amazing book that has been very influential in my thinking lately has been To Speak for the Trees. It says My Life's Journey from Ancient Celtic Wisdom to a Healing Vision of the Forest by Diana Beresford Kroger. I highly recommend this book. I reached for it because I'm trying to seek out a little bit of my deep ancestors' knowledge, which has probably largely been lost, but some people are recovering it, which is really cool. And this lady, who is I think she's a botanist as well as, anyway, she's a scientist, and she was also trained in the Irish traditional ways by the elders. So this is an incredible book. I have been learning lots and lots of things all along the way, trying to figure out life, trying to find clues and ways to be. So just to speed things up, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you a few more things. This is a beautiful new book called The Seed Keeper. Very good. Also, I'm working my way through Braiding Sweetgrass. For various reasons, I just have to stop and cry sometimes. So I've learned not to read it at work on breaks. And I really enjoyed, I checked it out and already turned it back in, but I really enjoyed Becoming Little Shell by Chris Latreille. Oh my goodness, that is freaky. I'm going to do a whole video on that. And and I'll circle back around to that, but it has to do with my ancestry and how it crosses with some of the history that he explains in his book. And yeah, I'm going to do a whole video on that because that is something I've been thinking and pondering deeply. All right, on to a couple more things. Here we have, I've had this for a really long time, Jamie Sam's medicine card deck and book, medicine cards. Jamie Sam's, you'll have to look her up if you're not familiar with her, but I really appreciate her generosity in sharing her people's wisdom and understandings. And it was when I discovered her medicine cards and her path cards, I think that's what they're called. Anyway, it's, yeah, I think path cards. And they come with decks too. This is the medicine card deck. I'll dig out a few for you to see. But I grew up, Christian and all in the, I'm very WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. I'm a missionary kid. I grew up pretty well indoctrinated and in a loving circle. There's a lot of layers to everything, so no matter how you grew up. So I will just say that. But here is, for example, a picture of one of the medicine cards, the Jamie Sam's medicine cards. Horses have been around me lately, but now they all galloped off. I'm not sure why. Anyhow, so I really love those. And this is another thing that Semele Sherry recommended to me. Oh my gosh. The Celtic Shaman pack, because I have been so influenced by teachings that I've been reading by people from, indigenous people from, North America, where I live now, where I'm from, essentially, kind of, sort of. Back to that in another video. And so that one, this deck actually is just lovely. For me, it combines those parts of me that are both Celtic, which obviously, just look at me, I'm Celtic. And also my, the sort of the shaman part of me. I've spent a lot of time actually working on developing my intuitive side and trying to understand my intuitive side, because it just, has this way of popping into your life and you think, what the heck's going on? Am I crazy or what? And no, I'm not crazy, but I do struggle with mental health, so there's that. But let me show you a couple of her cards. I picked this one recently, and this was actually the first one that Sherry picked for me in a reading. Semele, I called her Sherry. Semele. But the artwork is really cool. One lovely thing about this deck is when you do pick a card, be ready to do a little journey, because at the end of the teaching, it will suggest a journey, like a meditation, like a guided meditation that you lead yourself on. So those are some fabulous, fabulous cards that I love. I got this tarot deck. I don't even do tarot, but I love listening to political tarot. And I have a few favorite people that I listen to, and Lena Rodriguez and Tarot Down Under, and also Linda G, Comanche Psychic, and a few others. And I'm so grateful to them because they've helped me just kind of get through these hard political times. But anyway, I just love this deck just because, listen to it for starters. It comes in this darling little tin box, which I love things like this. And it's French, which I love. I grew up in a country that, was colonized by the French, but I grew up around French. So French was the trade language there. And I love French. So anyway, we have that. And then my sister gave me this gorgeous, gorgeous deck of flower cards, which I think is just stunning. Yeah, I'm not very photogenic, but hey, raw and unfiltered. It's me. But anyway, this. I think it's really, really beautiful. The cards are gorgeous. The messages are very, very simple and beautiful. And then my psychiatrist introduced me to polyvagal theory, and that also I recommend if you're interested in understanding a few things more about yourself and regulating your nervous system and emotions and other things. So this is Polyvagal Card Deck by Deb Dana, or Dana. I like the name Dana. It's in one of the, I have a story in that I made up, but I haven't written. If anybody wants to help me write a story, reach out, because I'm not that much of a creative writer. I've kind of dropped the ball with this story, but anyway, one of the main characters' name is Dana, after the Shining people. That's something else. But anyway, all right, there. That was my dog barking. When I learn how to turn this around, I can show you other things. But for now, thanks for listening. And to my friends and family. I know this is so weird, right? Anyway, I love you all. Thanks for joining my channel if you have. Like and subscribe. I don't even know why, but I just have to start doing something here because I keep lurking on other people's channels and, I want to be fair. All right, have a good day. Bye.